Welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. We are joined by Lena Haartje, who is the Key Account Manager at Smart Visibility for Hellmann Logistics. And we're going to talk about air freight and something that Hellmann Logistics provide as a service specifically around in the area of air freight. Lena, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks a lot for welcoming me. I'm happy to be here.
What are the problems when it comes to air freight and monitoring the movement of goods in the area?
You just want to know, okay, where are my goods? Are they going to be delivered in time? What's the estimated date so that you can maybe also plan your production if there are any delays, or maybe even split shipments so that your cargo is split up. It's always, I would say, about optimizations. You want to know, okay, what is maybe the best airline, but you simply don't have the information because you have to go on the airline website each by each and then see the information, but you don't know, okay, maybe I could have taken a better one. When it comes to the conditions of the cargo, sometimes you need to know the temperature or humidity status of the cargo. You're often wondering, okay, if there was a temperature breach, which of the parties was responsible? Simply a lack of visibility in the supply chain.
Have companies now managed to get again to this level where things are relatively normal, so they can not just focus on trying to control everything that is happening as a risk control, but actually are improving service again and things have returned to previous levels?
Things are quite normal again. COVID showed us how important transparency is.
And if we look at the market, what type of solutions are there that are being used to monitor the movement of goods? And you mentioned visibility and also accountability.
Currently, I would say the standard is still to go on the airline website and check the status. So you can see all of the timestamps there provided by the airline. This takes a lot of time to go on every airline website. When it comes to the condition monitoring, there, I would say, are basically two solutions. We have the so-called, or we call it active loggers. So they provide the data in real time. You can follow your shipment all of the time. But of course, they are quite cost intensive. The other solutions are passive trackers or simply trackers where you receive the data after a transport. They are not as expensive as active trackers, but they simply do not provide any location information. So you know, okay, there was a temperature breach last week at 12 o'clock, but yeah, you simply don't know where it happened. And of course, you don't know who was responsible. So who do I have to contact about this temperature breach?
What Hellmann Logistics has created and developed specifically around tracking and visibility. So can you just give us a bit more information on that?
The first one we created is our platform called Smart Air. So it's for air freight tracking, and you simply have all of the milestones in there. So you don't need to go from website to website. No, you have all of the information on one platform. You can see, for example, departure dates, arrival dates, and if there has been a split shipment, different ports, the ETA. But we do also have different report functions, so you can really compare different airlines, and you're not dependent on like the airline information. Then we decided to expand our portfolio with a new logger, with a new passive logger. So a logger where you receive the data after transport. And we call it the Smart QR. It looks like that. It has a QR code on its screen. And already the device itself has quite a few advantages. You simply switch it on, and then it measures the data. And on the receiving side, you can simply take your phone and scan the QR code to get all of the measured data. So if you compare that to other loggers in the market, you don't need, for example, to take the USB logger to a computer, plug it in, download the data, send the report via mail, etc. This simply saves a lot of time. You can not only see the data on your phone, but the data is also in a same second transmitted to the cloud. So if there are other parties in the supply chain who are also interested in the cargo, which may be, for example, the origin, the data is uploaded to the cloud, and you can then directly see them and see if there were any temperature breaches. We decided, well, that's not enough. We want to do more, and we thought, okay, why not combining our real-time air freight tracking tool with this passive logger? Now you can see all of the temperature information you have from the logger also in our Smart Air platform. We can now combine the timestamps of Smart Air, which have location points, with the temperature information of the logger. So you simply now know, okay, where was the temperature breach? Which of the parties was responsible for this breach, and who do I have to contact? I would say we changed the whole passive logger market because we simply have a kind of semi-active tool now where we simply know, okay, where did the excursion happen?
I hope that you can also walk us through the installation process.
So first thing is to add the shipment to Smart Air. This can simply be done with the help of the airwheel number. We can simply upload that, and then it's shown. So you have to activate the logger, and so you can simply do that with the little button here, and you switch it on, and then this QR code will appear, and you know, okay, it's measuring, and this QR code is really on a display, and it changes every 15 minutes to have all of the information really in the QR code. So it's not like a paper where the QR code is on. No, it's really like a dynamic QR code. And then on the receiving side, the people in the warehouse simply take the logger and then take their phone, and then they can simply scan the QR code to get the data. A link appears, and then you can simply click on it, and then you will be guided to the web page. And then you directly have all of the information on hand. So this is for the operations. They could see the information. They have the temperature graph and everything. This is how Smart Air looks like. You can see all of the information of the flight in here. We have the trade lane. We also have information about CO2 emissions. If I simply click on the first flight, you can see the departure date, for example. Then you can always see, okay, what was the scheduled date and then the actual date. If we have a transshipment port, you can see the information. And then, of course, the arrival. You can either then upload your logger, so the logger you used for this airwheel. So you simply load the tracker, and then you directly have all of the information you need to have on hand. And we do now see the flight here. So this flight started in LA. You can even see, okay, there was a scan location. So somebody on the origin already scanned the QR code, the arrival in Dubai, and then the other scan location. So you really have the exact locations here where of the port of discharge and the scan location where probably the cargo arrived. Apart from that, so there you have already location information. We do now have the temperature information here. Normally, you have this separated, so either you have the location information and shipment information, and or you have the temperature information. Here we have it combined. So you see a normal temperature graph, as probably all of you know already. Maximum, minimum, average information. You can even say, okay, my cargo always has to be under 6 degrees. So you can add this in here. You can directly see, okay, on which parts in the supply chain was the temperature higher than 6 degrees. So what you have is always the real-time information of the flight. So Smart Air itself is a real-time tool. So we have different data providers, which we have in here, and then we get the information in real time, for example, of the departure of a flight or the estimated arrival or the actual arrival. So a passive logger, as I already said before, you have to scan it to get the data. So as soon as you scan the data is directly uploaded to the cloud and available for all of the parties in the supply chain. So available we as Hellmann do now have the possibility to offer not only logistics service but also tracking services. And the special thing about our smart solutions is that we can offer them also to non-Hellmann customers. And so even if companies which do not use our logistics services want to have Smart Air, they can use that. Hellmann is now the exclusive distributor for the product in South Africa, Mexico, Australia, and New Zealand.
Where do you think the visibility of air freight will be going in the next few years?
I think with our solutions, we are going like the first step to make also a cost-efficient visibility tool, because I think prices will be always one of the most important topics to simply save as much money as possible. With Smart Air, I really think that it's in the future really necessary that companies have such a tool on hand to be able to also provide the information to the customers.
Well, Lena, thank you very much for your time. And for everyone watching, in the description below, you can learn not just more about the visibility in air freight, but also what Hellmann Logistics is doing with Smart Air. Thank you very much.